Pathfinders, we are getting ready to be in Jamaica. What is happening there? To celebrate the 5th Inter-American Division, Camp Paris. You cannot afford to miss it. Please come along. Yes, we're going to have honors. We're going to have a pin trading. We're going to have friendship, social meeting together throughout all the entire territory of Inter-American Division. When? Next year, 2023. You cannot afford to miss it, Pathfinders. Be a part. Come. Let's go to Jamaica. Yay.
And welcome back to another episode of our Youth Come Alive show. It's always awesome to be in the studio, right?
Yeah, it is.
And I am always excited to come and share with you knowledge about all the different topics that we have. If you're joining us on YouTube, Facebook, Channel 96 or Twitch, I encourage you to share. Call a friend and say, listen, Youth Come Alive is on and you need to come and join us. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to our channel. Today with you, I am your host, Aislinn Maria, and we have with me
your other host, Kayla Escliano.
And in the famous magic chair, we have with us
Jael Spencer.
Yes, and this week we are talking about peer pressure. The pressure is getting worse. Right? So we are talking about peer pressure. And before we even dive into anything, I just want to explain to you what peer pressure is. Peer pressure is, in the simplest form, somebody trying to convince you or trying to encourage you to do something that you do not want to do, or something that is against your core values and your morals. Sometimes peer pressure is good when I'm encouraging you to go and find a job or encouraging you to do better, to do great. But sometimes, majority of the time, it's not always like that. Kayla?
Okay, so before we go into our show, we have our Bible verse for this evening, which is taken from Exodus 23:2, which says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause, to decline after many to wrest judgment." So, in other words, what this Bible verse is saying is that not because everybody did do it, that means you should do it. Plain and simple. I feel like that just
right. It's not always the way the crowd is walking that means that the excitement is what we are supposed to be looking for. So Jael, you know we were Coco asking question. How do you see peer pressure, and have you ever experienced peer pressure at any point in your life?
Okay, first of all, I just want to address and point out that peer pressure not always come from people outside of the Adventist denomination. Sometimes it's right among our own youths in the church because they're used to a different lifestyle. Means when you become their friends, you want to go with them. That's not what it means. Sometimes we just end up with the wrong people right within our own church. And you wouldn't even realize it's the wrong thing because they're already adjusted to that way of living, that even the adults in the church can't point them in the right direction because we're following them as well, right? So there are many places I have experienced peer pressure. I went to a non-Adventist high school. I went to a non-Adventist primary school. I'm attending a non-Adventist university. It is everywhere. The only Adventist function I attend at church every Sabbath, Wednesday night, and Sunday night. Literally. There's nothing else unless the AY leader plans something for the Adventist youth. And if you're there in our environment that is non-Adventist, I mean, how hard is it for you to find something that you're not used to and want to try it? Actually, when I went to UB, they introduced you to, they gave us a map. These are the places that you don't go because they sell drugs there. The school gave us a map.
Wow.
Not to go to those places because it is a known drugs area. You might get robbed. You might end up to buy weed. Or like, they're giving you hints of where to go if you want to buy drugs. So like, they're helping you to stay safe, but at the same time, it's like, are they helping us or are they helping the people find good areas to sell their stuff? So it's very easy to fall into peer pressure and not even realize it, right?
Yeah. Our focus tonight is mainly about peer pressure when it comes to sex.
Yeah.
And we know that everybody is trying it out. Everybody is trying to see what it feels like. Everybody trying, because all the other kids say that it's cool. So I am trying it because it is cool. But do you think that should be a reason as to why we go and look or try to engage yourself in such a activity?
Or not only that it's cool, you always hear, how old are you? Oh, you're 22. You're not a virgin. Oh my goodness, you're 22 and you're still a virgin. You automatically feel bad because like you're so old and you're not having sex. It's a way of life. Why haven't you tried it, right? So that is one way of falling into it and not realizing it based on your age. And unfortunately, or high school children, because high school, you're still a child, it's everywhere now. We gone through the pandemic, and you had to use electronic for a while, online schooling and everything. It was easier to communicate, to see on social media the different everybody explaining how wonderful sex is and how you shouldn't get into a relationship if you haven't had sex with a person, because what if you don't like it and you will live with them for the rest of your life? You never heard that before? No?
Yes,
that is
I've
a
heard
thing.
it before.
It's a thing.
People are like, oh,
Wow.
you, like if you're wanting to get married, or are you sure you want to be that one person for
Yes, the rest of your life.
just that one person?
Or are you waiting for marriage? You actually are waiting until you get married to this person to have sex with them. What if you don't like it?
You know, that this is the new generation kind of behavior, because really they came with they are coming with a new different a new mindset, a new idea of how things should work, because they're not taking as they would say, they're not gonna take anything. I can't say they won't take the BS because they're not going to live in that. So I know that young people are, wow, that is very, because I know for sure in my generation people are still waiting. They're still persons focus on waiting for marriage, waiting to wear the veil over their face when they get married. But I realize, and watching TikTok, it doesn't help, because these young people are really exploring. It's the exploring for me.
And I believe, seeing that you're speaking about exploring, I believe that these socials or media, it doesn't really help, because for example, you see it on movies, you see it in TV shows, and it's something, you have people that are in high school that are, I want to do it with someone special, and they feel like they find that special someone. You see it, and then sometimes you have the one night stands in the shows or the movies, and people feel like it's a norm. Right. And also the medias and the socials aren't helping. For example, you remember when Snapchat bust, and like they had that feature where like the photo appear and then like after a few seconds it just disappear. you know the amount of pictures people made send crash through their thing there, and now WhatsApp pick it up because WhatsApp has a feature that you can send something and it just disappears under seconds. And then people are giving their children these phones and devices, and then they don't know what they're doing on it, and those like the Snapchat, the WhatsApp, the Instagram, that is helping them to live that type of life, to be so exposed and let others see them for who they are.
I remember watching like Gala Gala Island when I was growing up, and the show didn't have any kind of relationship kind of setting. But now these shows that are for the younger people, you see the 13-year-old trying to figure out how to kiss the boy or the boy.
Making out in the high school lobby and
or finding a clot. Our young people are being bombarded with the things that they see, and I think that social media is one of their biggest pressure. But we're talking more about peer. It's like I come to you and be like, Kayla, guess what I do last night? And then when I find out that you haven't, then I'm like, oh, you're not cool anymore, or you're not a part of this group. You have to do it to be initiated into this group. And so I think that it gets a little bit more heavier for the young people to have a way for them to actually be involved. Like, how do you be involved and not have to participate in such activity?
Okay, so we've been talking more about how we're pressured into it. We should talk about how to not be pressured into it, right? It's an Adventist talk show, right? There are things that they taught us in my AY. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they did it now, the AY. Ways to go about not falling into that kind of activity, like you mentioned, right? So one of the things that I remembered was that stood with me. If you're going out, if you're just starting to date, go out in groups. But the thing is now, you're going out in groups, but what are you doing when you go out in groups? You separate because, oh, they didn't want to do that. They want to go that way. You want to go that way. But that is another way, like they taught us to go out in groups, but we're not going out in groups anymore. I don't see Adventist youth going out in groups anymore. Most reasons because we attend different schools. I didn't attend school with any of my Adventist friends. And so I fell into non-Adventist friendships. Most of my friends are non-Adventist, and yes, I invited them to watch tonight. But the thing is, there was one time in my life that it was so easy to become convinced that the Adventist religion was a trick. They were tricking us into being people that we're not, right? And that is how peer pressure came in. Thankfully, I had Adventist friends and my family that brought me back. Like, no, not because they're doing it means it's the way that things are supposed to go. And another thing that we could introduce to the show, apart from going out into groups, have less access to social media. Time yourselves on social media. Look at that face, right? Yeah. But it's all about discipline. If you have discipline, you should tell yourself, okay, I will spend 1 hour on social media. Give yourself boundaries. If you notice something keeps recurring on your timeline, it's because you liked it, you stayed on it for too long. It will keep coming back because your Instagram thought, oh, she's interested in that. She will watch that again. It will bring it back. You were talking about your Gala Gala episode. I have no idea what that is. But if you watch one clipping of that on Facebook, it will keep coming back because that is what you like. So they have ways for you to eliminate what you watch on your social medias. And even if it's not your peer on social media, what you watch will keep coming back because it's an algorithm. So
yeah. I think another thing is that we should just be careful of the people that we have as friends.
I mean, if you are, you were raised up right, and you have morals and you have values, and you know that that's not something that you want to do, and you have people around you trying to force you to do things that you know you should not do, then obviously you have to change their friends, because they aren't looking for your best interest. Because why would someone force you into having sex when you know the consequences of having sex? There's a lot of things. You can get sick, you can get pregnant, you can there's a lot of things that can come with doing those things. So I think you need to like just change the people that are around you and allow them to have the same morals and mindset as you, and also read, because there's a lot of scriptures, there's a lot of saying that talks about in the Bible that says, you know, you should not be having premarital sex. There are consequences to these things, and you might do it and then you feel like, oh, nothing never happened to me the first time, so it good, I straight. And then bam, that when belly can show you, and then you're there to cry, oh why? Yeah, no, save yourself all of that and allow God to work through you, for not make you have to fall into the temptation.
Do you think that it's more of a pressure since it's easily accessible?
At this point, our generation, or I'm saying our generation because I'm in that generation. I Googled it today actually. I did not know, but yes, I'm in that generation. We normalize so many things that, yes, people might not even think having sex at a young age is pressure anymore, because it's so easy to get. They have Tinder, Grindr, Instagram, and Facebook. At this point, those are like almost, depending on how you use it, dating apps, right? You go up there, people send you friend requests that you don't know, they look cute, you accept it, you start talking, and you have sex. You meet up the first time and you have sex because it was easily accessible.
I have to read what Pastor Jeremy said. He said, so what if you get married and discover that you are not sexually compatible with your partner? Is it okay to test drive to see if you're compatible?
Oh no!
It depends on who you sex drive it with, who you go and practice with. As long as your husband agrees to it, right? I mean, is it that bad if the husband agrees? I'm joking. I am joking, Pastor Jeremy. No, it is not okay for you to go and test drive with another sexual partner.
Listen, I believe Jeremy just want to talk to me.
I think
He knows what is going on, and he just wants us to talk fool. But no, we can't test drive other people. The Lord knows what He's doing when He puts you with someone.
Right.
He knows that He's not going to put you with someone that you won't be, physically attracted to, because that is it. It's the physical attraction. Once you're attracted to someone, it will naturally be there when you guys are married.
I pretty much agree with that. I think in my generation, since you guys normalized everything, in my generation, it was a pressure. Going to school, I went to a non-Adventist institution as well, and all my friends were going out in the night. I mean, going out on the weekends, and they would say that they would go and sleep at a friend's house, but they're not going to sleep at the friend's house. They're going to go and right. And so they had invited me, but the mother that I have, she would not allow me to go and sleep over at any friend's house that
Female or no female?
female or female. And it was weird, because when they came back, they were talking about something that I couldn't even have conversation with, and so I became the non-cool kid in school, and so it was like it's become a pressure, because everybody starts saying, okay, now that your turn, that the circle may go wrong, the circle,
finding ways for you to find. They find the solution for you.
Right. And so when it was my turn, they was like, okay, now Aislinn, you're the only one in the circle left. What are you gonna do? And then I start becoming the non-cool kid, and then afterwards I started to get left on the side because I was not
Doing or engaging
I did
in
not
what they were
engage at that. I did not engage any at all into their pressure. I guess that's because I had in my mind what I wanted and what I have planned for my life that kept me from doing what they were doing, because it wasn't only sex, but it was also drinking and smoking weed after school. So if you could imagine a bunch of people just pressuring you, and then you start to be the uncool kid. And not that you only become the uncool kid, because that's when bullies, you start
Bullying
getting
starts.
bullied. So
Exactly.
imagine you start getting bullied for not fitting in.
And I must say that peer pressure doesn't come to those that aren't strong-minded, because that is not a thing. We have older Adventist people will say, oh, you only fall into that because your mind never in at the right place. Let me tell you something. You could faithfully read your Bible an hour every day, 5 o'clock in the morning, pray and sing all day about the Adventist song. My cousin called it Bible songs. And if you are in the wrong place or with the wrong people, you will still feel pressure to participate, because if you have 5 friends, you're the only friend not doing that one thing, you have 4 different minds talking to you about their experience, how good it is, what it makes you feel like, how you will always want it. You feel like you're missing out. It's not about having a strong mind.
It's like it was like they were talking about a chocolate.
But
Exactly.
in reality, you are saying that yes, you won't be pressured. Yes, you will be, because that's what you're saying. But the test now comes with when you actually say no or yes. For example, the 3 Hebrew boys, everyone around them that they brought were doing it, but they were pressured into eating, like what you said. They had strong minds, because I know David, they prayed, they sang well,
Fasted, everything.
everything, and they were strong, like what Jael said, read a Bible or pray every day, but they were still pressured into doing what was not right. But that is where the test comes in, when they stood up because they know it was not right. And question, so then what do you do when it's your parents that tends to pressure you into doing those things? Because they do have parents, because like for example, they have some people, well, I know you want to have sex, so we need to talk about these things now, and talk about birth control, and talk about contraceptives, and talk about condoms. It's like they say, well, I don't trust you because I know you going out there go bad, so make I tell you how to keep yourself safe. So then what do you do when these parents come to you and almost, they try like almost to convince you, but just help you to be safe?
Right. Oh.
In that case, if you're going to an Adventist church, those are not the only parents in the church. Your parents are not the only parents, and they will not be the only ones that you're close with. Everybody has at least one, I won't say additional parent, one parent figure inside the church that is not their blood relative. I have one. I haven't seen him in a while because he was one of the older people that did not come back after the pandemic. He joins us every Sabbath online, however. But if your parent is one of the people that will slightly encourage you into the other path, talk to somebody else about it. You could always feel free to talk to somebody else in the church that will not judge you. You have the pastors, elders, your youth leaders that are supposed to be there for you. Talk to somebody.
I mean, Jesus was also Jesus, and he was also tempted. He was also pressured to do things that he didn't want to do. But coming back to what Jael said just now, you do need people, you do need mentors, people that will help you, because sometimes we might think that our parents are making a wrong decision because they don't have all the answers, but they are guides. So there's wisdom in the multitude, and so I guess finding a mentor, having that person there to call them when you feel like this decision is kind of shaky, I think that's a good thing to have.
Listen, right? So most of the times we are pressured, but I feel like we have to be like Joseph. They rip off the man clothes and beat up the man. They beat up Joseph for that and Joseph still run away. We have to be like that. When we're placed in situations that we between a wall and a hard place, if you have to run out of the rags, run away and not get yourself into temptations. But with that, we would like to just go into break now. Guys, I know that you are enjoying us at this moment. So come back after our break and we will talk more about the pressures of sex.
Why do we get sick? How can we prevent diseases? What does it really mean to be in good health? My name is Tracy Lewis, and I'm the host of Defining Your Health, an ATN-sponsored program to introduce health and wellness education to our families, churches, and international virtual community. Health should be a central part of our daily lives, and the choice for optimal health should be in our hands. So if you have questions related to sustainable lifestyle practices, food and nutrition, physical fitness, social wellness, or perhaps a public health issue, then join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for engaging discussions led by diverse health experts and medical professionals. God wants you to be healthy. ATN wants you to be healthy. So continue to pray that God leads and bless this ministry. Become a faithful viewer and invite your friends and family to like and share our programs. And remember, you can always make an in-kind donation or financial contribution to further the work of this ministry. Thank you for being a part of the ATN family. And we pray, beloved, that you may prosper in all things and be in good health, just as your soul prospers.
And we are back talking about the pressure of
Sex.
It's a word that we're afraid to use
Or talk about.
especially in our churches. Everybody's afraid, and so everybody eggshell
Cover
or be
it.
like, oh, she said the word. And we need to stop being afraid of saying the word, because it is a reality, and our young people are looking for ways. I mean, I know Kayla was talking about Joseph just now being ripped. His clothes were basically ripped off for him, and he was placed in a position where, I mean, his no was strong, but the other party did not receive the no
Too well.
too well. And so they did everything in their power to make sure that he suffered for his no that he gave. But let's talk about the modern day way of of those pressures where you're talking to somebody and they'll be like, send me a really cute picture or send me a really sexy picture, and make sure you don't have on clothes while they do it. And I know young people they think some of them have nice bodies, you know, and so they'll be like, for the camera, not knowing that sending a picture, all the streamers that it get saved in along the way for it to reach from my phone to your phone, and the amount of people that can receive those information and we're not aware of.
I think it was Kayla was mentioning before that you have the disappearing messages on Snapchat, Instagram,
Don't believe those things.
WhatsApp. Exactly. A lot of our young people fall into that trap. They say, oh, but if they take a picture, we will see. If they take a picture, you will see. But what then? What then? They already took the picture. Even if it disappears, they have the picture. And they could always take the picture with another device and it will not show. What then?
Or they like to say no face, no case, because once your face is not showing but just your body, you will know. That is fine. That's what they
and
feel.
you see the picture, you will know. And that's a whole other mental thing that goes through. You know they have that picture of you. No face, no case, but you know they have the picture. You will replay that moment in your mind over and over, especially if things don't go the way you want it in that relationship. You will think, oh my goodness, that person has a picture of me. You know the amount of things they could do with that picture. You know how much thing I could go through if that picture comes out. It's better to not send it than to worry about what happens after you send it.
And what can come out of a moment like that is cyberbullying.
Exactly.
And cyberbullying is on the rise. Like, it's a thing now.
Another
and a lot,
normalized
right?
thing.
But then you see what happened is we start saying, oh, I trust Kayla. Kayla not send nobody that. And then the relationship between me and Kayla goes sour, and then Kayla say, oh, you want to play bad? Bam! Open a brand new account and share it with all your friends there, and then your business there out there. How do you then manage such a situation when that happens? How do you feel in that moment? What you think those people are going through that it had already happened to?
I think when these things happen to people, it causes a lot of them mentally to be depressed, feel like, because when these things come out, it's not only the person that there's a lot of backlash with it. People talk about your body, people talk about the person you are, oh, this person is a whore. They say, oh, your body not look good, why are you showing it? And there's a lot of people just chiming in. So to spare yourself all of that, it's just always better to just not give in to it. And some people say, oh, it songs, how the saying go? Better said than done. That's how you go.
Easier said
than done. But the Lord reminds us that our body is His. So in reality, we should not be letting anybody else other than our husbands seeing our body.
Right. Then how about those people that have those long distance relationship that says, where the guy say to the girl or the girl say to the guy, okay, how about, since we're not close, let's have an intimate moment where we share.
I think that, and do you want to say anything?
I'm thinking that long distance relationships are for couples or adults that have been that they have mental boundaries set, that they look out for certain things. One of the things that we have here, keep on the lookout for moral dangers. We call it red flag nowadays. Look out for the red flags. If you see this person starting to be sneaky with you, asking subtly for pictures, or take one with your blouse a little lower, take off the sleeves of the blouse, put on another blouse. If you see that happening, take a step back, stop and think before you do. Even if it is a long distance relationship, There is nothing that says you have to be in a relationship at every moment of your life. If that person wanted to have a sexual relationship with you long distance, they would have done it the right way.
Yeah.
Having sex, premarital sex actually, because that is where we're going, having premarital sex or over the phone premarital sex is still a sin. A sin is a sin. Call it as it is. Right?
I think I was just about to say that. That's why I asked Jael if she wanted to say anything. I think you need to know your boundaries. At the first start of any little wanting to get further, you have to eventually put it to a stop. Because you say a little picture here or a little sexting here, it's innocent. It won't do anything. But then you have intrigued them or caused them to be curious, to want more, and then that is when they want to constantly, oh, send me another picture, or send me some more words, or tell me what you want to do to me. And those things would just continue because you say, oh, I'll do it this one time, and it will only be this one time. But after that, you have already caused them to, like, drop. So then that when they always want to do it constantly, so you need to know your boundaries or tell them stop at the first instant.
Right. It's what happened there. I think people, because there was no consequence the first time it happened, because people usually react based on the consequence that happened. So if something happened to me and I get what consequence, you think they went back to do it?
Nope.
No. So because the first time they engaged and nothing happened, nobody never say, nobody never know, then they go back. But then there are effects of engaging. I mean, sometimes you make a mistake because being peer pressure, sometimes you do give in.
Yeah.
We do give in, but do we sit there and we mope around? Do we sit there and grieve over the moment? I mean, yes, we do, but then we need to get up and move on and make a decision in our mind that, okay, it happened, so the next time I know that it will be coming around. I am not going to do this. You make a stand inside your mind so that when the time comes, you can stand there and be like, this is what I am going to do, and I am not going to engage regardless. People are going to come, they are going to bombard me with it, but I will not do it.
Amen. And saying that you will not doing and having that mindset to, don't do anything. It goes back to our Bible verse, for another Bible verse, which says, whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. That's taken from Proverbs 13:20. And that is exactly what Asin was saying, your need for no got company we want lead you down the wrong way.
Also, in regards to the social media, I want us to stay with that a little while because we're in the age of technology. Everything is technological now. So she said you were the one asking about the long distance thing, right? You're in a relationship, a long distance relationship. I'm the girl, you're the guy. The guy says, but you could trust me. We've been dating for like 6 months now. If you don't want me to do it with somebody else, you send me a picture. But the Bible says, Proverbs 14:15, the simple believe at every word, but the prudent man looking to his good. The Bible literally says, the simple believe at every word. You cannot believe everything a man says all the time. If he tells you, I will not share it, why would you believe that somebody that you're not even sitting in front of, texting it?
I love Proverbs. Proverbs always know how to make you feel full.
But this is the thing, right? I believe that, just as Jaya was saying, to believe everything when they say. At the end of the day, I feel like if someone is pressuring you into doing something that you have morals and standards and you are told not to do it, there's nothing wrong with getting rid of that person.
Right.
Because last time I checked down a lot of need about. So don't feel like because the man got a car or because he have money or because he got a nice job and he could take care of you. No, it's not like that. God will provide the person that will wait for you until marriage.
But you know, there's also the pressure of thinking that just because you're waiting means that you're weak.
No, sir.
It's a stigma.
Yeah.
It is a stigma, and not because you wait, it's weak, and not because you don't have it means that you're also weak or
Incompetent.
Or how the word I want to say. Not because you lose it means that you're not the word now right from the mind, my goodness, that you're not valuable, because that's also another thing. So I don't know, it's I guess it's the way we were brought up and the way we were pressure into thinking, because the way our parents, it's our parents' belief that we got, because they're from that older generation that makes you know that, okay, you lose it, you're
married today. If they took it, you get married today because they took it from you. Now they have to mind you, because that is all you had to offer them. You can't go offer that to anybody else because you don't have it anymore. So that's in some cultures that is still a thing nowadays. You lose your virginity to that guy. If your parents find out, you are getting married to that guy, and that will be the guy for the rest of your life. But that doesn't mean that you have to stay with that person because you had premarital sex with them. If you realize that that was not for you, you stop and you think, you prepare yourself that that is not what I want and I need to do better. You find out what you have to do to convince yourself that you need to do better, and when you find out what you have to do, you do it, you stick to it, you keep your boundaries, don't let it happen again. Mistakes happen, but if it happens more than once, it's not a mistake anymore, it's a decision.
Okay, so you see how you say how a lot of times what we do or the action that young persons do is sometimes also based on what they see. So when it comes to children, or my bad, not children, when it comes to young persons living in homes that are not Adventist homes, and they see their parent living that type of lifestyle, or their mother told them, well, oh, I got pregnant with you at 14, I got pregnant with you at 15, I got pregnant with you at 16. What happens when you see that lifestyle from the home that you are in?
And this is why I said earlier that not because you lost it means that you are not valuable, because we need to remember that not everybody grew up in a lifestyle like we did. Some people were unfortunate to have that good moral value, raising and going to church and guidance, and a whole lot of people as a community raising and giving instruction to us. Some people are unfortunate to have that, and so we cannot measure that person losing their virginity at that young age to some people that actually saw it and they were living in that with their pure thoughts. I mean, yes, we know that at some point we are going to feel what is right and we're going to feel what is wrong, but we can't compare, because my life might be fortunate and yours might be unfortunate to have that upbringing.
But then this is the thing, when it comes to some parents or some home as well, we tend to almost protect our children, because I believe that in some homes they feel like they should not talk about, because you are saying that we can't speak about it, or some persons don't like to speak about it in church, but it's sometimes the same way in homes. They don't talk to their children about sex. They don't teach them knowledgeable things about sex. Listen, nothing is wrong with sex. premarital sex is wrong, and you're only supposed to have sex in marriage when you're married already. So teaching your children this, and this, nothing is wrong with that. And we need to stop protecting them or letting them feel like, oh, they can't talk about it in a way that, okay, this is not right, this is what you should do. I think there is nothing wrong with sitting down with your children and letting them know that it's not wrong until, and I want to say it wrong, it's not wrong unless it's in marriage.
Right.
I'm not sure if I said that correctly.
Right.
So it's only supposed to be in marriage that sex should be happening, but talking about it or being knowledgeable about it is not wrong.
And when you say marriage within sex, it's marriage with your partner.
Yes.
Because if you are married and having
Another topic.
then it's still a sinful sex. Sinful sex is sinful sex, whether before marriage, within marriage, with another partner. And we do have couples that engage in, what do we call it?
Open relationship.
Open relationships. Adventists do not have open relationships or relationship with close. My husband, my wife, that's it. Nobody knows it. That's it. If you fall to peer pressure because your friend has an open relationship and their relationship is going good in your eyes, you're seeing things that is not there, because obviously if you're having open relationship, something is wrong in their marriage that they're not talking about. They're not sharing it with everybody else. But you go and try that in your marriage and see what happens. Do you think it will end the same way for you?
No, sir.
And that is still peer pressure. Adults can be peer pressured as well. It's not only for the kids.
And we have we've been talking more about the females. How about the males? That if they are at a certain age and they're still a virgin, their friends, they laugh at them because they're not the macho, or they're weak because they're still not at that level. How do we help these young men because some of them legit feel that because they're still 25 and they're still a virgin, people do look on them as a weak man, as if though they're a weak man.
I think we need to stop with the whole mindset of thinking that not having sex at an age or being a man is being weak or wrong. I think that's just right there, because people always feel like because you're a male and you're not having sex, like you said, it's weak. And I think at the end of the day, we're not supposed to have that mentality, because it's not like that. Not having sex doesn't make you much of a man, and having sex doesn't make you much of a man either. You're a man because you have morals and values and standards, and you can take care of yourself, and you're a man of God and these things. So it's not because you're having sex or not having sex that makes you macho or not macho or weak.
But it's the typical way of how
people
society is looking at it, because sometimes we do look at young men that reach 20. you 20, you still a virgin. Those are impossible. Impossible that you get that far and not engaging in such activity. I don't think that defines your macho-ness.
In regards to the males they're going through it right now, because it's still a thing. You're scrolling on social media and you're seeing all the guys with all the girls that they have. If you set your boundaries and you stick to it, that does not make you any less of a man than the one with 5 women every weekend. Actually, you're saving yourself from a lot of hassle, diseases. You're saving money, because dates are not cheap. Especially if you have 5 dates per night. If you spend $50 per date, that's a lot of money that we don't have in this time. If you have it, good for you. But it does not make you any less of a man. And tell that to yourself. convince yourself it does not make me any less of a man or any less of a male person to not have sex. If I want to wait for marriage as a man, that is what I want to do, and it's not anybody else's business. And if they're talking about it, that's their business. Don't worry about that. You do you. You follow your morals and your beliefs.
I think people need to start drinking water and mind their business.
Exactly.
Because the first question when they meet a guy is, are you a virgin or are you not? You know, it's like hi, what's your body count? Right.
What's your body count? That's the thing you're asking. No, they're not even asking if you're a virgin. What are
about the body count? I think because there's someone here that is messaging me, and she brought up a excellent point. I think we as parents, they need to stop being biased about sexualness when it comes, because they praise the boys for having sexual partners, and then when it comes to the girls, they
belittle them depending on their sexual activities.
But why is it that they praise the boys for having sexual partners and then they do less to the females? That's not right.
It's the pressure. It's the pressure coming from all the different angles, not care where you're at. But we are at our last few final moments, and I believe that the pressure, talking about this topic about pressure in sex, young people need to start to look at the friends that you choose. I was talking to a friend this week and he said to me, your friends are your family. And if they're outside, they're lucky to have you as a friend. Because imagine if you keep, I don't say you have to keep your friendship in your family only, because there's some networking, you meet good people out there. But when you think about where you want to go, what you want to do, and how you want to live out your life, then you're going to find people that have the same type of mindset as you. So that means when me, Jael, and Kayla hang out together, I not pressure you to do that. Not because I did do it means you should be doing it, or not because Kayla doing something to what our group. Each one of us have our own opinion and our own goals in life. But that when I find people that suit mine, we walk in one direction.
I want to add in Proverbs 24:5, Proverbs again, but this time it's nice. A wise man is strong, a man of knowledge increases strength. So always gather the strength to say no when it is time to do so. In regards to the question, males that are virgins, if you're peer pressured, know that it is wise it is strong to be wise. If you're wise, you're strong. And if you made a decision saying you're not having premarital sex, stick to it. If you're reading your Bible and you're praying every day, you will find the strength you need to stick to your decision. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions. That does not mean you have to listen to them.
Yeah. So I just have something that I want to read that someone actually sent me. Going back to that actual same Bible verse, the person said, I remember growing up, I had the idea of saving myself till marriage. And because it was a topic my mom wouldn't talk about, I had to find books online to help me. I didn't use the Adventist home, but I did find So You're a Teenager. The book helped to highlight that emotions that we are having in our teenage years are infectious, but also it gives us a guideline on how to establish the way. So in Proverbs 24:5, it says, a wise man is strong, a man of knowledge increases strength. So there is nothing wrong with being knowledgeable about these things. There are books online, there are people that you, older heads, people that you can talk to, mentors, as you guys said. There are people that you can talk to, you can converse with, you can talk about these things, because the urges are there as young people, and as you said, it is infectious. So we do have these urges, but at the end of the day, we need to read about these things and know that, you know, nothing is wrong to have these feelings, but it is better and good to just wait until marriage.
I like that she went and, or the person went and did their research, because it's good to be knowledgeable. Knowledge for me is the prevention, and prevention is better than cure. And so knowing is a good thing, because it helps you to say, okay, oh, you're about to do the oh, I could get this, I could get that, this could happen. A million things could happen. So when you know better, when you know, you do better.
Yeah.
So when you know better, you do better. And so I enjoyed this topic for tonight, and we need to do more of these segments in our AY session, because we need not to be walking on eggshell around the topic of the pressure of sex, because it is relevant and it's happening today. I'm glad that you guys watched us and that you shared the link. I am thankful for Jael to be here with us today as our guest in our magic chair, and you'll see her a little bit more often. But for tonight, thank you guys so much for being here, and join us next week as we come with part 2 of this topic about peer pressure. See you guys next week.
As a non-profit organization, the Adventist Television Network solely relies on your financial support. By partnering with us through a monthly donation, you will help us to continue to fulfill the mission in taking the gospel into all the world. For more information, please call 613-9351 or email us at atnfin@cbm.belizeunion.org. Thank you for your prayers and support of the ATN ministry, and together we may hasten the soon coming of our Lord Jesus Christ.